stayed with a lot of humility and with a lot of simplicity, and kept the relationship with Baba very firm. And every day, having stayed in London, how to keep the relationship with Madhuban, and every day whatever letter would go to Madhuban, the day she would do a class at 11 o'clock and she would relate Madhuban news at that time. And the more we keep the relationship with Baba and the relationship which she kept with the Dadis in Madhuban, and to stay in oneness and simplicity, Dadi would make food herself. She would do her own clothes herself. And it's not that, okay, in the evening I'll have a fresh sari or I have a fresh cloth. No, she would actually iron again the same old clothes and wear that. And she would take 100% in simplicity. She would, during the day, offer Bhog, and yes, London Nivasi sisters were there, and she would make everyone sit on the table, one table together, and she would definitely have a conversation, a gyan chit-chat, definitely, and instill enthusiasm. She was number one. And I remember that there was a spiritual association of Great Britain. I would remember that organization, and every month there was a program, and Janki would do that, the lecture there at that time. Dadiji would go with her at that time and on the road, and she would relate what thoughts should be related. I won't give a lecture, she said, but the bhavna I've had in my mind that may reach, and in the car also, to share that bhavna in the car, like as if she would create that atmosphere first before having gone to the talk. And one time she was not there, Janki, and she had gone to America, and the program was printed, and Dadi told me that you do the lecture. And I said, Dadi, I don't know the practice of English yet. I'm coming from India, and there wasn't this practice of speaking English, and in Bharat it's Hindi, but to understand English and to understand their language was a big test. But Dadi had a powerful bhavna, and so told me, no, you have to do it. And so I said, Dadi, another sister, she's an English sister, she's in knowledge for a time, and she can do the lecture. She knows English. Then Dadi gave me very powerful drishti, made me realize, and said that is it the aspect of language or is it about bhavna? Whatever you speak, that will be Baba's vibration in it. And you won't speak, but Baba will speak. And so why are you bringing the language in front? Put Baba in the front. And what Baba has said, relate that. And so she would give courage. And in the same way, with such humility, we would do courses. Dadi in the evening every day would come, and just like you do workshops, in the same way she would come and sit, and she would revise the points. It wasn't so big, but every soul, how to sustain them, Dadi taught us. And so really, Dadi's name was Janki, meaning the one who gave life. Jan means life, to even give non-BKs, the ones who hadn't got knowledge, that knowledge, and to accept them, each soul the way they are, and sustain them. And even if somebody said something about someone in a complaint form or said something, then Dadi never repeated it. or related it to anyone or spread it in the atmosphere. And so even if there was something in the atmosphere, it shouldn't spread, and she would change that whole atmosphere. If somebody related a weakness, the other would change that person's attitude. And to change someone's attitude, to change their drishti, to change their bhavna, to instill respect, this was the purity of Dadi's heart. And her heart was so pure, and in the same way, this was the way with respect and bhavna in herself was filled, that she was able to do that and fill it in others. And the aim was that it's one time in America there was a program in there. It was called the Vision of Angels. Whilst going there, Dadi gave the experience that I do this practice. They've kept the photo there of the Vision of Angels. They shouldn't think of Janki. They should only think of angel. And she would practice to stay incognito. And whoever, to keep Baba in practical and give that experience. For traveling, Dadi felt it was like a game. She never missed Amrit Vela, and in the evening every day, in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, she would do yoga. This was a fixed discipline. And Indraprasth here too, in Madhuban, when she would come, Panda Bhavan, 4 o'clock afternoon was fixed yoga, and even the evening yoga she never missed. And so love for knowledge and to create a powerful atmosphere through yoga, even the class in London, Amrit Vela, but also class would also be as big. And so to keep the niyam, the discipline firm, the ones who cook the food, whether it's for 200 or 500, they should never miss class in the morning. It's a record. The one who would cook, they have never missed Murli. This was Dadi's bhavna, that there should be service, there should be study together with it, and there should be love and cooperation at the same time. And so the intention is to share that she taught us how to stay humble and simple at the same time, and to instill enthusiasm. And she had intoxication of her own name too. Baba had called me as Janak, she would say. And so to stay as a trustee, what is it to be like a trustee? She stayed a trustee. She kept trust in others towards yajna, yes, but at the same time, in her heart too, for every soul she had trust through her bhavna. And so may they not have faith or speciality, but Dadi gave them trust, gave them enthusiasm, gave them that feeling, and enabled them to go into places to do service and sow seeds. And that is, you are able to see the fruit in the double foreign lands through that seed that she sowed. And so the connection she kept with the Dadis, she loved that she would gather with them. And when the sisters would come together, she would have these chit-chats. She had friendship with Didi and such depth. And she would loved, it was her life to have chit-chats and conversations based on knowledge. She had courage, she was fearless, and she was truthful, and she never spoke any word that was any bitterness in it or any reactivity in her words. It was through her bhavna she accepted everyone, she gave love to everyone, and through her own life enabled others to also create their lives through divine virtues. And in essence, we cannot forget the seed that is planted today is visible as a fruit in over 100 countries. She would go to whether small or big places she would go. She didn't think if I would get invitation I'd go. No. As an owner, as a master, she would say, I'm going, I'm coming, through her own feeling. She would give a program that I'm coming, and with Jayantiben, she would have whatever Baba's work. Today it's visible and it's a proof. Om Shanti. Dadi would say that Murli is the life for me. Dadi would churn the Murli and with depth clarify the Murli. I remember that whenever Dadi was here, the evening class and yoga was always there. And so towards Murli, she would churn it and relate it, and she had a lot of love to do that. And now I'm requesting Jayanti Didi to share. You have been on service with Dadi since 1974, and at the current you are the additional chief of the Brahma Kumaris. And so your invaluable experiences, we're going to be listening to them today. Om Shanti. In 1957, I'd met Dadi Janki when I was 7 years of age, and Dadi with a lot of love. When it was my 8th birthday, she celebrated it in the center, and Dadi knew that if you give love to the children, then their mother, their father, uncle, aunts, all will come close. And so she kept that yukti. But it was a method. Baba said that if you just pull one little branch from a tree and it would come to you. And so at that time she celebrated the birthday and then had to go abroad. But the letter that we used to get from that Dadi, there wasn't just Dadi's message. Dadi gave a duty to a sister. She had 5 children. She was a widow. As soon as the child took birth, the husband left the body, and so the little child had not seen her father. And as just a newborn child till 6-7 years, and she would take care. And so yes, she had a grandmother. She would say to Dadi, Dadi, what service can I do? The whole day goes into taking care of the children, the 5 of them. Then Dadi gave a tip to her that in the morning is your time. You definitely come in class But together with that, at night, the child sleeps at 9, and at that time, you can do the service of writing. And what should she write? She gave her that duty to write. 4 or 5 mothers in abroad, Ranjini Ben in London, in Hong Kong, one in Africa. In that way, she told her, you make a program for 2 weeks, and every day write a letter to each one of them. And in that letter, whatever you listen to in the classes, because it was a blessing that Baba gave to Dadi in Amritsar in the 50s when Dadi was there, before Jadi Chandramani. That time Baba had come and he had said, the child, just as you have a big head, Dadi had a big head physically, in the same way, you can keep filling it with imperishable juice of knowledge and keep churning it. And so since then, that discipline had started to do classes and relate the Murli, or relate Murli and then class later. So whatever classes Dadi would relate, there would always some new approaches she would take, and they were very practical. And so Indra Ben would note these classes down, and Sindhi language is such that it was just dashes and dots, and it wasn't any complicated. It was like a shorthand language, and she would take very good notes. And in those days, every center, there wasn't any photocopy machine, not even something that could print it, but she would do it with her hand, handwritten. And so every day, the essence of Dadi's classes every week would go to every sister in abroad. Since then, the service of abroad started. And Baba had kept Dadi in Pune because it was small. There were not that many students, there were very few. And so some would say to Dadi from their family, that what are you sitting doing there? There were many invitations given in other places. But when she told Baba this, Baba said, with which aim have she kept you in Pune? You have to stay there till Baba will tell you that you need to go to another place. So that ground was such that a lot of double foreigners would stay, whose families also stayed abroad. And so she would receive the sustenance through her letters, and also through the mother's letters, and many centers got established in that way. But Dadi's experience and churning was, she would give this one advice, that you keep the value of your intellect, churn knowledge in your intellect. If you keep other things then of waste, it will not going to be any of benefit for you. You'll get more tired. And so if you're going to churn, you will get butter. But if you churn water, you won't get anything. You'll get more tired. So Dadi would give this example, that churn, it's very important to do that. Dadi never waited that I get a position or somebody would say something to me, then I will do that service. No. Whatever time and whatever work was in front of her, she would do that service. And in the 60s, Dadi, when she would come to Madhuban, then she would tell Ishu Dadi that the letters of double foreigners, give it to her. So double foreign letters, responsibility was given to Dadi. And through those letters too, and that Baba's far-sighted intellect, Dadi actually learned how to keep that very same far-sighted intellect. And another story of Pune also, in those days, one mother's husband left the body, and she was very firm in knowledge, and she would think that whatever it is, what it would go into the in-laws and I'll do service. That was the feeling. And they spoke to Baba, and according to Baba's advice, said to the sister, no, the husband's brother, he's going to say that we'll take care of you, we'll take care of children, and we don't know what's going to happen ahead. But you should keep your thought firm that you have done and earned so much with your husband, then you have a right over what you have earned with your husband. So don't think that he should take it and, I'll become surrendered, he'll take care of everything. No, what is your right? According to current philosophy, you will definitely should take it. And so Dadi would give her training that how can you financially be independent. So according to Dadi, she would ask Baba about everything, and as she would get advice, that mother would keep. And she also was happy, the children were happy. But Dadi had such a far-sighted intellect. She didn't think she has to just give her knowledge, but the application of that knowledge and how to cooperate in that according to advice, and to make that life very high, elevated. Dadi was very careful about that. When Dadi would sit with anyone, that person would say, I want Dadi's 5 minutes. But Dadi would not finish any work in 5 minutes. And so the sisters learnt that brother would say, or your sister would say 5 minutes. But she would give very good time, whatever time, evening or afternoon. But Dadi would listen well. Dadi would listen to them, and what Baba had taught, in which way, how time, wealth, relationship, in every way can be kept and used well and used in a worthwhile way. She would understand their situation and then give advice. Then according to that she would move along, and they would be able to also move and be elevated. And in the Murli too, it was Sunday's Murli, Baba had said that you're all ancestors. The tree, the Kalpa tree, you are sitting, the Brahmins at the bottom, in the roots. And roots are very incognito. No one can see the roots. But the deeper the roots, the more stronger the tree is. And so through the roots, all the branches receive water. And so Baba is reminding all of us that you are all ancestor souls, and the one to give water to all the branches, to give sakash to all. And so Baba, Dadi, practically, it was 2004, I think, but it was in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s that Dadi would talk about this too. And she learned from Brahma Baba, she saw it, and she was able to give attention to every soul in that way. And those souls would be able to be uplifted. And through that surrendered feeling, she would give that sense, and they would become teachers in 1 month. You would see Anthony, Brother Anthony, who was late, and he came in 1 week. And so she told me, give course to him, and everybody was amazed. But Dadi's discrimination power, in 1 week to do a course, in 1 month, Dadi gave him the service of Italy to do, and the seeds he sowed there, they were very powerful. So Dadi, for one soul, gave time in such a way, but she would know that for that one soul, by giving that attention, that one soul would give and serve many, and so would do of thousands. And so in the same way, in the beginning, they were brothers and sisters who would come in the early days, And in those days, many brothers would first come. Ken or Charlie or Anthony in those days, they would have come out in those days. They did world service in their places too and opened centers in their places. On the basis of this, Dadi would say, but when in Punjab, one sister was sent to another place, and so they had a thought that maybe one can be far from the Brahma Kumaris and life would be different. And so that there in the far place, she went for studying, and she wrote a letter to Baba. Then, please send Dadi for 3 days here because I'm alone here, I need help. So Baba said to Dadi, go. And so for 3 days after that, the sister sent a letter to Baba. And one to send a letter one day and another to receive the other day. There were no calls that time, phone calls. And so Baba wrote a letter, yes, you can stay there, but if you make one Raja, then that one Raja will make a lot of subjects for you. She never forgot that. So each and every individual, she kept that awareness, and that's how world service actually expanded. And God, the current Karavanhar, and the magic of that, we began to become a witness of this. I got to see that. Just as Dadi, Sudesh Didi also shared, Dadi would do also service through her dreams. 2 types of service. First, when Dadi's health was not good, at that time, Dadi would rest, nothing else. She only needed rest. And in those days when I used to travel, many would say to me that Dadi had come into our dreams. And we would ask Dadi, Dadi, at rest, what do you do at rest time? Dadi would share a few things, and at that time she would also share, I feel that at that time Baba takes me somewhere and makes me do some service. And I don't know what service he makes me do, but I don't know who he takes me to. But incognito way, he's making me do some service. And that's where we'd hear Soul saying we had difficulty and Dadi would come in our dreams. And so Dadi would also have dreams of the future, that how service can happen. At one time, the dream came, it was December 74, December 1974, the first year of being in abroad. And so in the morning, at that time, she was sitting for a cup of tea. At that time, she was churning and sharing. And that time, it was cold, it was December, winter time. Dadi said, I have seen that there's this beautiful staircase and it's very royal. And on the top of the staircase there's this big family and they're ready. That God comes to our home and God's message would come to us. And they were ready for that. And after that, a few months later, wherever I would go to different places and I would see that what type of staircase do they have? Do they have some royal staircase? I wouldn't see anything like that. But I would forget. And then 12 months later, December 75, I went to Guyana. And the mother who came to receive me, and after that we would call her Auntie Betty, she was actually the main of the Hindu Mahasabha. And she would take me to her home, and so there was a heartbeat that stopped at that for a second. Why? Because I saw such a royal staircase, and who was there standing? Her husband, her children, the whole family was up there. And it was 4 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't expect at 4 in the morning the family would be standing waiting for me. And that was the family that became an instrument with such a beautiful service in not only Guyana but also Caribbean and also New York. And her daughter opened the first center. And if you keep your thought in the right way, on the basis of knowledge in an elevated way, then Baba through your service will also do service, and there will be service in the dreams. And so Daddy never just slept, there was also service merged in that sleep. So every step of Dadi's humility, you would think also such a big Dadi. And at that time Dadi would do teachers training or the bhattis that Bap Dada had told to conduct after Zakar Baba had left. And Shiv Baba gave the answer that here there will be bhattis, Kumaris and Kumars and householders, brothers and mothers. And so Madhuban, the works will continue. January 1969. Nobody thought at that time, now Baba's gone, what's going to happen next? Nobody knew what was going to happen next, but Baba already as a commander seen and knew at every aspect, was very clear and clarified in front of his army he was showing. And so he gave us a plan that what will happen in the future. Within that, Baba's plan to do world service, there wasn't even a thought or a dream how it's going to happen, how it will happen. We didn't know the practical detail, but within the practical detail, Dadi Janki did service in Baba's advice, and based on that, Dadi wasn't able to come for 4 years from abroad. Baba actually listens to my thoughts at Amrit Vela every day, and she would ask, was there any message for Baba? But Baba talks, so every message does reach. So I don't need to get any commission for that. I used to get a chance in those days because we had a lot of time to chat with Baba, Avyak Baba. But Baba's thought and Dadi would follow. And in those days, Dadi would say in the beginning, don't go according to walk according to the thought that I'm your Dadi. No, I'm your friend. One time, that a double foreigner brother, Dadi would say, don't stay into your position. Stay with your friendship. Do service through friendship. This Dadi had said to one brother. But Dadi would do that task with inspiration. It wasn't about position. Dadi did not have any title in the foreign land. She only came for 2 weeks, but she saw that there was need and she stayed, and Didi would phone and Didi would ask, when will you come? Dadi would say, Didi, ask Baba. According to that I'll come. And when Didi would ask Baba, can Dadi Janki can be called back? Baba would say, at the moment she is actually creating a foundation there. She needs to stay there. Let her stay there. She would understand and with a lot of love give cooperation. So the plan that Baba had for world service, if you see the map in the entire world, official, 110 countries are official. But message has gone into 140 centers, 140 countries. And this Baba and Dadi. Baba's plan, and Dadi was the puppet of that plan. And that one is making me dance, and just like a puppeteer, I'm the puppet who's dancing. She never looked at the weather. We would say to Dadi, Dadi, at that time there's a lot of rain. If you go there, it'll be a little problem. Dadi would say, what's the problem will I get? Wherever I go, I just have to relate knowledge. I don't need to go wandering here and there. What's the problem I would need to have? She never looked at anything. She just kept walking along. At one time, there was an earthquake in Mexico, and in Dadi's visa, in her passport, there was a stamp. And at that time, Mohini Ben was in New York, and there was a tour with Dadi in America. And at that time, when there was news that there's an earthquake in Mexico, so Dadi said, then phone them. And with trouble, we tried with 2-3 places. The main brother that was there, we'd got a phone connected. She says, I'm coming to you. He was very happy. But then he said, we don't know how the flights are going to come. And she would say, don't worry, Baba will call me. I'm coming. That time Mohini Ben an Indian passport. She couldn't get her Mexican visa. She would also think, now Dadi said that she wants to go to Mexico. How will she go alone to Mexico? Dadi said, Baba will make me go nicely there. And there were very few flights in those days. Where it was the capital, there was the earthquake there. But she got her flight. She found out, and she went alone at that time when there was an earthquake. Many would think to leave from that land, but actually Dadi went to that land. And you would think how happy those families were. That's like as if God had sent an angel to us for the sake of service. And so Sudesh Didi had said that so many stories are there for many years, but Dadi's every aspect, Dadi would be ever ready. And we too, to keeping the lesson of Jiha, we kept ourselves ever ready also. There have been many projects. We have heard about Dadi's service, even subtly. She did a lot of service. While Dadi was present, there was Million Minutes of Peace, Global Cooperation for a Better World, Living Values. All these international programs were conducted, and after Million Minutes of Peace project, the United Nations gave Dadi Prakashmani the title of the Ambassador of Peace. And after that, together with the United Nations, there was a collaboration, and there we have an office, our representatives who stay there, who are United Nations tasks, do give their advice and do share and relate. And so towards Dadi Ji's service, her bhavna of being tireless, and to reach that service to all the souls in the world, how it may relate and be shared. She had love for that, and a very impossible task, she made it possible. And so now we know Brother Harish Moyal. You have sang beautiful songs. We welcome you with an applause. And on this very auspicious day, he is present with us today. And we'll listen to a song on Dadi. It looks like today that our Madhuban is flourishing because of Dadiji. Your divine teachings has made our life divine. Dadiji, having received you, we are experiencing a lot of happiness through your divine teachings, are making our life become. Having received you, we are experiencing a lot of happiness, and through you, through your divine teachings, are making our lives very divine, and having found life you, has become. Our life has become very grateful, you, appreciative. Life has become Dadiji, we will remember your divine story, the one who would relate Baba's Murli. You were also very loving. We will remember your divine story. Om Shanti. We will never forget Dadiji. She did service through her karmatit stage, having reached it. She served till age of 104. She is an example for us. And now I'm requesting Karuna Bhai, who has taken sustenance of Brahma Baba. He has started after 1969 and present. He's the Additional Secretary General and the main one in the media heading. And we will listen to Karuna Bhaiji now. Om Shanti. Sudesh Didi and Janki Ben, who have stayed with Dadiji, and in front of their experiences we stay in Madhuban. Since then Dadi had started service in the foreign land, but still the experiences that I've had, I'm keeping them in front of you. First, Dadiji would say, I don't know English when she was here, but when we heard that Baba has sent her to London where there's just English. Now, if someone has to go to London today, they need an English test. Only if you pass that test can they get that visa. But Dadi ji reached London, and when I was there, I did also see that Dadi did pick up quite a bit of English, that whoever would share or relate in English should understand what they said. Dadi had a good grasp in power. I saw this practically myself. And so there was a time in the UN it was very strict. She was given only 3 minutes to share. Such a big world organization, such a big, and to relate. We didn't even think that. But if you've heard Dadiji's speech at the time, and how within 3 minutes in English she spoke, I saw and what Shiv Baba's magic was. Even the deaf can start hearing. We did hear this, even the ones who are limping start walking. We heard this in the Gita, but I actually learnt it from Dadi Janki. And so you must have also heard in the organization, in the institution, there was a beggary period in the beginning. And Dadiji at that time and other brothers also had related. When Dadi Janki would go to service, she would even sit at the last seat on a bicycle and go. Now, see, the world organization that is today, that is running, what the beginning time was, and how that beggary part, that time did service. We had heard many experiences of how other Dadis also did service in a similar way. But Dadi Janki ji, when I heard for her at that time, and how way Baba would expect from the children. However, at this time we would think, let's think how we can get something, some mode of transport, whether a rickshaw or etc. Dadiji would say, I don't have anything. He's master of the foreign lands. So many centers had opened, whether it's London or America. But in one day here in Madhuban, Dadi had said that through my name there is nothing. Then through our names we would have some vehicle or something in our name in Madhuban. But Dadi had said, through my name there is no thing. I don't have a car in my name. I haven't seen Dadi wear a watch. And so mobile is a far thing. And I saw this practically. And you know, my first experience being with Dadi in Pune, I sat in class. It was the 30th day of the month. And Dadi started the class. And she started that in the first date, what Baba had said, the essence of Murli. That's how she started. Then I thought, how does she remember? Why does she remember the first day of the month's Murli? Then she spoke about the second, then she talked about the third day, then the fourth also. And what is happening, he would think. And she continued to share essence of Baba's Murli for all those days from 1 to 30. And I first time heard that, I thought in the world this is not possible. America also tested her mind and showed she has the most stable mind. But first time when I saw and heard this, what Dadi is, then I had that experience. Secondly, Janki Dadi, I wouldn't say I had attachment to Brahma Baba's photo, but in every class, Dadi would first see, where's Baba's photo? Where's Brahma Baba's photo? First thing she would look for. Then I was in ORC at one point. A VIP program was arranged. And all VIPs came and sat. And she saw, Dadi came, that there's no Brahma Baba's photo anywhere. And she was looking, and people would think, what is Dadi looking for? But Dadi told Bridgman Bai that I would like Brahma Baba's photo now. And when she got that done and put it there, then I saw how after that she shared her talk. It's the first time I saw Dadi has a lot of love for Brahma Baba's photo. 1983, I first time went to London, and when I went into Baba's room, and it was so beautiful, that room, and it was big, and the translate picture that was there was huge. Just as in Madhuban, when I'm sitting in a hall, and it was big. I saw the love that she had for Brahma Baba. I learnt that from her. And you know today that in every home there's a Brahma Baba's photo. And we learnt this from Dadi Janki. I had an experience personally. It was in the meeting here where we were senior brothers and sisters, about 2,000 of us together. I had a seat in the front and I sat very peacefully there, very quietly in Baba's remembrance. And suddenly Janki Dadi related my name to Karuna. Then instantly I got up and I thought, what mistake did I make? Then I looked and Dadi said, why are you sitting so quietly? And now to sit quietly was also a mistake. Then I didn't say anything. I just stood there. She said, do something. Do something. Do something in such a way like as if she's ordering me. And so we do say thought reader, but I did see Dadi Janki having this speciality. What we think, Dadi Janki does know, and she then gives us permission. And this happened many times. Dadi Janki, after Dadi Prakashmani had left, stayed here in Madhuban. Dadi Janki felt that it's such a big yagya. Thousands come, brothers and sisters, for the programs here. Somebody here, there must have shared something in about it's quite expensive to run, and Dadi was careful and attentive that Dadiji's health wasn't that much strong, but yet she had traveled so much in Bharat. Perhaps now Jayantiben is traveling, but I remember, but in those days, Janki Dadi had traveled so much extensively that when they go, then definitely the centers give cooperation when they go. And so Dadi was happy that the ones who take care, she would give. She had very concern for the yagya, because it was first time after Dadi Prakashmani had come and stayed. We saw practically for the yagya how much concern she has. And I saw a big speciality and heard about it too. And the centers that have been created in the lands abroad, whether the center needs to be brought or it has to be rented, it's very expensive. But when someone shares that it will cost this much if we do this, we can't take this place up immediately, then Dadi herself would offer, and that's how centers would open. And this was a very big speciality of hers, that she would contribute for that. And in so many countries had open centers in this way. In the beginning, when Dadi had gone, in the beginning she would share in Hindi abroad. But at that time, the problem was you can't speak straight away the knowledge. Just like we can share here in India about Shiv Baba and Avyak Baba, this aspect of the Supreme Soul has come and all that. However, what Dadi Janki would share, she would share. But together with that, in order to translate that, Jayantiben would always be with Dadi to translate. And she would do such good translation that according to their people, to their way of understanding, in such a way, Jayantiben would translate Dadi in that way. And so many times that would happen. Then Dadi ji also picked up what she has to share, what she doesn't have to share, and it was a wonder that we saw in Dadi Janki. Lastly, when she came in Bharat on service, at that time we got to know that Brahma Kumaris history of the yagya. If someone has done an air travel, everybody travels by air, yes, but the amount air travel Dadi Janki has done, till today no one has done that much travel. Thank you, Karuna Bhaiji. You have shared your experiences with Dadi about the Dadi Ji. And now Vedanti Ben, who is the director of Africa region, is with us present. In 2 minutes, you will share. Om Shanti. Everyone must have a lot of treasures of experiences with Dadi Janki, and everyone must have experienced this, that whether small or big, teacher or student, Brahmin or contact soul, they may have a lot of experiences, and everyone has related, so I don't want to share much. When I first went to Africa, and some laws were new to me, and it wasn't easy. Then I phoned London and spoke to Dadi. There are problems that we do solve, but this problem is such that you would need to come. If you come, then only this problem would be solved. And Dadi gave me an answer. First tell me, Baba has sent you to Africa, then who's the king of Africa? Then I didn't know the answer of that. Then you should come. Dadi said, no, you are the king there, and so the king has to solve their own problem first, then I'll come to appreciate you. Now think, I used to feel that within a problem she didn't come, but she said, if you solve the problem, then I will come. Then Dadi gave a power there that you shouldn't give problems to the elders, but bring the solution to the elders and then put it in practice. And it is rare that I had to, after that, share a problem to her. Dadi would say, come, you have no problem, come. No problem, sister, come. So Dadi would do such chit-chats and fill the power and give such inspirations. And every time would, through 2-3 sentences, fill courage. And that courage would actually be very useful for us and do a lot of work. And so what do we say about Dadi? There's so many stories of experiences, but today on this day, we all within ourselves, there's so many specialities of Dadi. We within that inculcate one that we can actually take a high jump in. Someone can bring a small pen, someone brings a big thing, or even bring a toli. The way Dadi would accept, we see, we actually get a lot of things. We just actually just put it on the table. We think we're busy and we would just, but no matter how busy Dadi would be, but she would look at that thing with so much love, and if it was toli, she would say open, and she would take a pinch and put in her mouth. So there's so many specialities of Dadi, but one or two I'd like to share. Om Shanti. Just as Dadi Ji's name was, in the same way she was like a trustee, detached and loving. And we would say, till we are here, we will never forget Dadi. And Madhurvani group is going to relate a song. There's 56 tolis, 17 Brahma Bhojan items. There's 100 types of items in Bhog offered today to Baba and Dadi. And we will listen to the Bhog message after Mohini Didi has shared and offered Bhog to Baba.
Thank you.
And this Bhog Dadi, Janki ji, you can go nowhere, you're always with us. That is the essence of the song, and you are the key to our lives. idol of renunciation. Dadi Janak was beyond the body. Whilst walking along, you were seen in the world as an angel. Just as long as this earth remains, you will be always remembered. You are loved and you will be remembered. Dadi Janki, loved more than life. Through physical, you did service. You went and served through peace. And power. You went to remove pain and hurt. The Shakti stump, when one sees that place, one feels like bowing down. Just as long as this earth remains, till then this memory will remain. You will be remembered. You will be remembered as Janki Dadi, who is loved. And now, our respected Mohini Didi will offer Bhog to Baba, and we will also listen to Baba's Bhog message.
अंबर के उस पार, नीले अंबर के उस पार, पंछी रे उड़ जा प्यारे वतन में, नीले अंबर के उस पार, नीले अंबर के उस पार, हो नीले अंबर के उस पार।
तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद में जीते हैं बाबा, तेरी याद में जीते हैं बाबा, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, रहे याद सदा ही साथ तेरी, रहे याद सदा ही साथ तेरी, बस और न हम कुछ चाहेंगे, बस और न हम कुछ चाहेंगे, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं। जो पल बीते तेरी यादों में, जो पल बीते तेरी यादों में, वो पल अविनाशी होते हैं, वो पल अविनाशी होते हैं, हर पल को सफल बना देंगे, हर पल को सफल बना देंगे, तेरी याद कभी ना छोड़ेंगे, तेरी याद कभी ना छोड़ेंगे, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं। आप रहो संग संग बाबा, यूं ही आप रहो संग संग बाबा, इस दुनिया के सुख पाने क्या, इस दुनिया के सुख पाने क्या, लहराते रहे तेरी यादों में, लहराते रहे तेरी यादों में, उन यादों में खो जाएंगे, उन यादों में खो जाएंगे, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद में जीते हैं बाबा, तेरी याद में जीते हैं बाबा, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, रहे याद सदा ही साथ तेरी, रहे याद सदा ही साथ तेरी, बस और न हम कुछ चाहेंगे, बस और न हम कुछ चाहेंगे, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं, तेरी याद का अमृत पीते हैं।
बाबा तेरे हम रहे, यही जिंदगी का सार है। बाबा तेरे हम रहे, यही जिंदगी का सार है। इस भरे संसार में तेरा प्यार ही आधार है। इस भरे संसार में तेरा प्यार ही आधार है। बाबा तेरे हम रहे। प्राणों में बस तू है बाबा, और न दूजा कोई। प्राणों में बस तू है बाबा, और न दूजा कोई। स्वर जो तुमने दे दिया है, कानों में गूंजा वही। स्वर जो तुमने दे दिया है, कानों में गूंजा वही, कानों में गूंजा वही। बाबा तू ही एक जिस पर बच्चों का अधिकार है। बाबा तू ही एक जिस पर बच्चों का अधिकार है। बाबा तेरे हम रहे।
Having gone, taking everyone's love and remembrances, I went to Baba and reached the subtle regions. The scene of the subtle regions was of happiness, and it was like enjoyment, play. together with Baba, Dadi Janki ji, in two ways. First, in her arms was remembering everyone, and two, like as if the whole world, the globe, was in Dadi's hands. And sometimes she was embracing us, and sometimes the whole globe. It was like a round globe in her hand. She was looking at that globe. And today Dadi is playing. And some moments later, Baba showed that Prakashmani Dadi, Gozar Dadi, Janki Dadi, Nirbhair Bhai, and other main ones, brothers from Advance Party. It was like they were sitting and having a chit-chat. And within their chit-chat, in the whole world, they received the message, and very fast Dadis are taking advice. And in the world, there's a list of a lot of pain. And you children have received the good news of the new world. And so you, to what extent in the world? Yes, Baba has done a lot of service, but the little that is left, that too, the faster it's completed. Then on one side Baba said there is the unlimited family, the yagya, and on the other side the spiritual service, godly service has to become complete. And for that, create such a plan on which Baba had said, in the world there are main people who are prominent, whether they're scientists, whether they're religious leaders. Create a list of those and print something very nicely. Take out time from them and give them the message. And those personalities, whatever words come out from their lips, and the impact, not only will they have an impact on the media and the world, but all. And so keep, yes, the name of the Brahma Kumaris is becoming prominent, but Baba, we have to reveal Baba. The Advance Party group, they planned this. And now, looking at the speed of time, Baba saying there's not much time. It's not that today, tomorrow destruction will happen, but you have facilities today. It's not that they'll stay for a long time. Today we have facility from television to internet. You do many things through them. But Baba is saying, you do have to do sadhana, tapasya. But the use of facilities will reduce. There is expansion that will happen. But suddenly something may happen. May it be natural calamities. But one day there will not be that many facilities. So use them fully and relate the message into the whole world. And then Baba said, and having looking towards Dadi Janki. Dadi Janki had a slogan whilst being with all of you in connection, has the happiness of having close relationship. She would say, stay close. She was close to Baba, and if you stay close, then you will receive happiness from each other. And so Dadi would feel this. And whenever Dadi would sit and she would have a spiritual conversation of knowledge, then what would happen through that? That there would a spiritual love that would develop in that relationship. And that was the aim with which she would create that gathering. And you need to continue this, and there needs to be an atmosphere of knowledge and that power. Yes, a service is happening, Baba is seeing, we are seeing, but Baba said the three service must happen together. The mind, the words, and through karma. Service through the words is important. Through action also, service needs to happen. Whether we need to use everything in a worthwhile way, through words or through actions, but the percentage of service through the mind is little less, and therefore just pay attention a little. And just as Baba, through the power of thought, has done service through the world, and that's how double foreigners have emerged. All feel that we are the creation of Baba's thoughts, and in the same way, through your thoughts, reach everywhere. This time is not for the physical, it is for the unlimited, not for the limited. And through a big heart, first through your thoughts, and then whatever facilities there are, through them. And Baba said, and also through your life, Baba needs to be revealed. And so I said, from Shantivan, from the big family, I've brought Bhog. And then Baba said, it's for Baba, it's for Dadi, it's for the advanced parties. With a lot of love, Baba accepted the Bhog, especially to Dadi Janki ji. And then after that, Baba said to everyone, there's Bhog for all of you. And just as the family here and the family of the advanced party, there was a gathering of both. It was very beautiful, and it was an atmosphere of a lot of happiness. And so secondly, he would also pull our attention towards that how Dadi Janki would give drishti to the globe, the world. And so in that way, then for all, Baba said that every child does a lot of effort, whether it is for self-progress or for service. And Baba is giving congratulations for that. And together with that, Baba said, then through your complete stage, step forward. If you pay more attention through your stage, that what type of light will spread, that the world transformation, task of transformation will complete. Then in that same way, Dadi Janki again, the sisters who have been doing service along with her, Dadi had small arms, but it would reach around the whole world. And so from there she took leave, and Baba for everyone from the heart gave a lot of yaad and pyar, remembrance and love. Baba and Dadi had said that yes, we've done service through the words and actions, but must do a lot through the mind, and we will reach our destination. Which brothers and sisters are staying here till the evening? Please raise your hands, because we'll listen to her sharing of experiences. Then according to that, we'll see whether it will be in the conference hall or... And so you will come to the conference hall at 5:30, and from there Santosh Didi, Vitija Bhaiji and Mohan Bhaiji will share their experiences with Dadi Janki. And now everyone will go to the big dining for lunch, and double foreigners going to the VIP hall in the small dining. Om Shanti.
Yes, thank you so much.